PPP is just a product, but it's a product that a lot of our customers needed. And it served as a gateway to help us have conversations that are by and large going to set a lot of these companies up, these small businesses and medium businesses and entrepreneurs everywhere, for success down the road as well. And so that's what's really been invigorating about it is, it's really the chance to prove why community banking is so much more important to a lot of our customers than some of our competitors.
John Hanley, it is good to be with you in Overland Park, Kansas on a beautiful day in your new branch that is how many days old? How long have you been in here?
Brand new. We are 90 days in. We moved in about midway through December. Great day outside now. Love it here in Overland Park. Great corner of College and Metcalf, and Equity's happy to be a part of it.
That's awesome. John, it's been probably a year and a half since I've seen you in person.
Yes.
Obviously, We've caught up, a number of times. This is just really my chance to catch up with you for a little bit. How have things been going this last year? You've been staying busy?
Yes, definitely. I feel like Equity Bank and our marketing team, I think we've been busier than we've ever been before. Some of the best work I think the four of us have done. We've got a 4-person marketing team, and the company's really done a nice job staying in front of its community and its customers and taking care of everything. But that's been a lot of not pressure is not the right word, but importance placed on bankers in all roles throughout to be nimble, responsive, agile, and that's what we've been doing. So you look back 365 days, and sometimes it feels like it's been 10 years, and sometimes it feels like it's been an hour. And so it's been a wild ride through the year of the pandemic.
Well, I want to get to some of the strategy things, but before that, and in your strategy, you've talked about it at the unconventional con. Yep. You talked about a lot of different things you guys were doing, but how's the hustle felt in this sort of? You and I have talked a little bit about this entrepreneurship spirit that marketers have, and I think you've embraced that in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think. Well, I'm pretty lucky. Equity Bank is an entrepreneurial bank. It's one of our core values. It's we were founded in 2002 and have been growing through a combination of organic growth, but also some business combinations along the way to the tune of 10, 12 of those during the 9 years that I've been here. And we've been hustling for a long time. And I think what happened during the pandemic and the COVID year is that hustle sort of got elevated a little bit to where it's really on stage. You're experimenting with language, with marketing copy, with content, with web and social in real time. And sometimes your banking clients, like my banking clients, if I'm the marketing director, the bank is my client, sometimes they're like tunnel vision away from the marketing stuff. Not anymore. I feel like they are engaged with content, with response, with everything, and they really embrace what marketing brings to the table in terms of helping them have conversations with customers who may be having the worst day of their life in some respects, and then maybe thanking them for the support and helping their business stay afloat in others. And it's been like that. So it's been a hustle, but it's been really nice to be able to elevate that for the brand. Yeah,
well, I mean, you've had this great brand, a lot of commercial activity, obviously, in the last year. Your bank in particular knocked out PPP.
We did. We're still knocking it out, honestly.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So, and as you're thinking about that, what was really the key as you saw, diving into completely new product line?
Yeah. So I think for us the key is always in community banking. It's you got to remember who you are and who you represent, and your customers are about to live through whatever the next, what we thought was 3 months, then 6 months now, whatever it is. You got to be there for them, and you've got to be there with expertise and with empathy and with responsiveness for their problems. And so that's driven everything we've done. PPP is just a product, but it's a product that a lot of our customers needed, and it's served as a gateway to help us have conversations that are by and large going to set a lot of these companies up, these small businesses and medium businesses and entrepreneurs everywhere, for success down the road as well. And so that's what's really been invigorating about it is, it's really the chance to prove why community banking is so much more important to a lot of our customers than some of our competitors. And I think that's what we've rushed to embrace during the year.
Well, I completely agree with you. I mean, I think it's sort of helped level that playing
Absolutely.
field, and
Absolutely.
it's helped you to really elevate your presence in the
Yep.
market.
Yep.
So both marketing's being elevated, equity
And the
banks
brand,
being
yep,
elevated,
absolutely.
right?
And look outside, it's skyscrapers, who knew?
right. No, John, when I think about what you've really done here in laying a lot of marketing foundations at Equity Bank, I want to go back a little bit to some groundwork that you laid before this stuff hit. One of those is the official bank of, right?
Okay,
You've got this program. Can you tell me a little bit about that, the equity, the official bank of?
Sure. So it was about 5 years ago when we launched that brand campaign, and I cannot even remember where the idea came from, but we were all of a sudden going to be the official bank of Move It, of Fixers, of Your Life, of Your Marriage, things like that. That was just a marketing hook.
Yeah.
And so it was a brand awareness thing for us for quite some time. We ran different types of spots and social and advertising for about a year. And then we decided to activate a little bit more. That's a marketing term. That's boring. But you're making the ask for.
We're getting a lesson here. I mean, we're getting a real lesson.
Maybe unintentional too. You never know. So we came to market with the official bank of coffee, which is a little more esoteric than saying the official bank of, Your Life, or the official bank of pets. Both of those were about 2-month campaigns, and what we would do is, the official bank of pets, we're supporting pets in your communities, and here in Overland Park, if you came in and opened an account, make a $25 donation to, I think here it was Wayside Waifs or Prairie Paws or something like that, local cause, each selected by a region throughout the community, and that's a big deal. I mean, pets, I have 3 cats. I love my cats. People love their dogs. They love their chickens. They love their rabbits. They love whatever. And it really was a way for us to really ride that activation wave and that philanthropic spirit that our communities have for helping. Coffee was a little bit different. We were helping either education or law enforcement or different things like that with different charities. And so what we found is that philanthropic ask was really, people really loved it and chose to do business with us and have kept, they love that debit card that has FIDO on it, and they've kept using it for the year and beyond. We think we've got some other stuff in the works that aligns similarly to this type of campaign for the near future as we continue to see things open up, but it's a secret for today.
That's good. Well, when I think about what you were laying there in groundwork, though, coming into a pandemic where people are all of a sudden starting to shift into social-driven marketing, you've been laying that groundwork for a period of time. So that storytelling is already built. You've already got the equity.
I think you're right. Yeah, brand equity, right?
Yeah.
And we've kind of been ahead of the curve on that. And certainly we've seen some competitors do some really cool things as well, with charitable donations. A bank in our backyard does a, Pay for A's program. Things like that are really, really elevated in this time. People are being more strategic and thoughtful about what they choose to do with their money and their time and their relationships. And I think that's really, if community bankers can get their brand storytelling right, that's going to pay dividends for the long haul.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. So let's go to pandemic hits.
Sure.
You sort of started getting together. You've had this official bank of program.
Yep.
We still need to find some other official bank of. I think there's still some room.
There's still some stuff to mine there. Yeah.
Pearl Jam, maybe.
Maybe
the official bank of Pearl Jam.
If Pearl Jam is watching this, I got a cell phone. Right?
There you go. So as you've moved into, March happened last year. How did marketing really shift for you?
Sure.
What did that look like?
We operate pretty much like a traditional in-house agency. We're working a little bit ahead on creative, a little bit with our business lines and our regions on different tactical things, and a little bit of day-to-day. And what happened immediately was, we needed to communicate with our customers, and we needed that to already have been done. And we're not alone. That's every company is running through the same thing. Is how do we get the word out, and how do we make sure people are not freaking out or not thinking that we're not going to be there for them. And so for us operationally, it was 24/7 job. And we're a little bit used to that, but it was like that, to the power of X. And so you're making sure that your messaging is going in front of all the people that need to look at it in real time, and everything is, you're taking chances on the brand based on your track record. And when you've got a good management team like Equity, you're able to do that. And I know that not every brand had it as lucky as my team, where we were able to work with our clients directly and our teams directly, and have an impact on customer experience from the standpoint of either our loan pipeline or workflow solutions to our website front end and everything of that nature. So I'm talking because I don't really know how we did it, but we did it all, and we did it fast, and we're still doing it to some respect.
Well, very humble in what you were accomplishing, I think, because one of the things you also started pulling off, which was evident when I stopped by today, is the sense that it's open.
Sure. Yep.
And I know that was a really strategic move
Yep.
that you and the team at Equity put together.
Right, exactly. So we think there's something to the fact that we're always on, just like a business owner is. And there's a lot of our competitors who are offering limited hours and great digital banking solutions, and we've got that too. But I think for a bank and for a community bank, it should go beyond that. You should be ready to text with your customer at a moment's notice. You should be available for somebody who may have a life change during a pandemic and need their safe deposit box and things like that. And so we've tried to walk that line of being open strategically and available and responsive, and then some for our customers, and of course still being safe and distanced and in masks unless you're in an interview and the like. So it's been good for us, and there's nothing that makes up for face-to-face time. If you are in an office, even distance situation, it's good to get together with your teams around the table in a mask in the same room, and we've been able to do that for the most part.
Yeah, well, I think there's a real comfort that you presented by broadcasting that to customers,
Sure.
that you're there for them,
Yep.
and that when they needed it most.
Yep.
So as we think about the strategy of what you've put together, both
Sure.
before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and going forward, you've laid a lot of groundwork for Equity to really grow.
Yeah.
At this point.
We hope so.
Where do you see that coming from? And specifically when I think of the social good that you've laid in this whole stretch.
Sure.
How do you see that playing in growth?
So I think we're going to continue to see customers, whether you're talking small business, large business, or consumer and family, many of them are going to give community banks a higher level of weight when you're thinking about, where do I go next with my money? Who's going to help me start a business? Who's going to help me take care of my home? Who's going to give me the best perks on my checking account?
Yeah.
And so you've got to, as a community bank marketer, be ready to ride that wave, and you have the opportunity to talk, I think, a little bit differently about your services, maybe a little bit more, this is where we can help you get, rather than these are the 10 features on your account. And so we're trying to do some of that already in our communication, and then hopefully position on that with bigger brand awareness campaigns, bigger incentives for opening an account, and bigger things ahead and more exciting things ahead for people. I think most of our markets are ready for whatever's next. Certainly we've all been on Zoom calls, and we've all been shuttered and everything, and at some point people are going to be out living again to their fullest extent, and continuing to have the conversation from today up until then is what we're trying to do at the moment.
Yeah, well, I think you've certainly presented a lot of opportunities for that. I want to talk a little bit about what you've been doing in
Sure.
the community too.
Sure.
Not just the community here in greater Kansas City area, but also what you've been participating in to really
Sure.
help other bankers.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
tell me about how those conversations have been going. You're obviously the chair this year
That's right.
for ABA Bank Marketing.
Yep. So I'm lucky to serve as co-chair with my good friend Chris Nichols of the ABA Bank Marketing Conference. It is in September, planning for Austin, Texas. We are planning now, it's a group of about 20 bank marketers, planning as though it's going to be in person. We don't know yet.
Yeah, sure.
We're working on, is it in person, is it hybrid, is it Zoom, what have you, and we're working through a lot of conversations to make sure that the event really helps bank marketers, young and seasoned, really get a handle on their industry and what it takes to succeed, and have conversations with their internal teams to build their brands for the future. I think the reason I do stuff like that, and the reason I'm thrilled to be in partnership with the ABA, is that that's how things get better for customers of all banks, is innovation and sharing experiences across financial platforms and brands, and making sure that we're all providing value to our customers. And that's what's really exciting. It's also exciting to help bank marketing leaders today and tomorrow continue to advance their missions and their brands.
What I've appreciated about your contributions too is that you're elevating the role of marketers,
Sure.
right,
Yep.
in the bank.
Yep.
And you referenced how it happened some in the pandemic, and part of that was because the bank looked to you. They
Yes.
saw your
Yep.
professionalism.
Yep.
They saw what you'd done, and I think that's
Yep.
a message for all of us.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, we really do need to communicate all of a sudden. Is kind of how it took shape for us. But yeah, it's important for any company, whether it's banking, whether it's software, whether it's trucking, anything, to figure out how they're going to talk to their future customers today and tomorrow. And for that, you have to elevate marketing, at least to some extent, to inform those conversations and tell those stories.
Well, John, it's been great to be with you here in Kansas City. Get to
Absolutely.
catch up a little bit in
Yeah.
person, and hopefully we can grab a drink or something in Austin, Texas.
Yep, absolutely. It's going to be here before we know it, and hopefully it's in person, and we get to shake a lot of hands and clink a lot of glasses.
Awesome. Thanks, John.
Yep, thank you.